So I've been using Blackmagic DaVinci Resolve 17 to edit my YouTube videos for well over 6 months now, 8 months even. And in this video, I'm going to talk about my experiences since releasing my last video about it, address some of the comments that I was getting from it, and what my future plans are with the software. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Anton Wong. I'm here to unleash the power of video, so please do stick around. Now, before I get into how I feel about it, let's get a little bit of personal context first. I started using DaVinci Resolve at the beginning of 2021 after having thought about trying it for about a few years actually. Before January, I was mostly an Adobe Premiere Pro editor, like many of my peers and companies that I was subcontracted to. But before then, I would use Final Cut Express, and before that, I was using some store-bought one called Nero, and before that, Windows Movie Maker, baby. I knew that DaVinci Resolve was a software I wanted to try, considering that they had a free version with most of the capabilities of their paid version and most of the capabilities of other popular NLEs like Premiere, Avid, or Final Cut even. Which brings me to the last video that I made on this subject, which was I wanted to see what would happen if I switched completely to DaVinci Resolve for 30 days for all of my YouTube and non-YouTube work. And since I like making challenge videos, I decided to make a video about the experience to share with all of you, and boy, did you have some thoughts. It is currently my second highest performing video on this channel, which might have something to do with DaVinci Resolve being a highly searched keyword with, pretty fair competition. And I would be lying if I said that that wasn't part of the reason I decided to make that video. But out of all the comments I got, one comment I got the most was that really stuck with me, at least I agree with, is the fact that I used the beta version of DaVinci Resolve 17. Yes, now, in my defense, the video itself was not meant to be much of a review or comparison or much of a commentary on the software itself. It was just about my journey to learning something new and how quickly I might have been able to pick something up. It was just a fun thing to do, yeah, but yeah, I probably shouldn't have been learning on the beta version and probably should have been learning on the stable version, which I did acknowledge in the video, but okay, point taken. Another common comment I got was about how I was setting my expectations too high by trying to learn everything in 30 days. I mean, I wasn't trying to learn everything in 30 days. I don't think that's physically possible. I just wanted to see what would happen if I were to switch to a new editing system for 30 days. Because of course I'm not going to be able to learn everything the software has to offer and adequately use it in a professional setting. I was not trying to drink water from a fire hose. I was just trying to try it out for 30 days. A third comment I got was a lot of people talking about, comparing it to the other software they use or the ones that they use, which I do understand. You see tools that do similar things and you want to know which is better or prove why yours is your favorite one is the better one or whatever. But to be quite honest with you, I don't really have much of a horse in this race. They're both fine editing systems with pros and cons, which I'll get to in a little bit more. If you have one that you like better or find that it works better in your workflow, great. Finally, plenty of your comments seem to say how much you appreciate switching to DaVinci Resolve, but I suppose that's a consequence of the video being search optimized for the people who already use or are interested in using Resolve. Either way, I'm glad you watched the video, but anyway, let's get into how I've been using DaVinci Resolve since that video. Now, in the 6 months since I've uploaded that video, I've continued to use DaVinci Resolve for all of my video editing needs, specifically my YouTube video editing needs. So anything from my challenge videos to my recommendation videos have all been done using DaVinci Resolve. I've also made a few speculative videos for companies with it and found myself quite comfortable with it. I suppose I'm not saying anything new when I say that after a while with a certain software tool or even a certain skill, you just sort of get quite comfortable with it, which is great for the purposes of getting the work done that I need to get done, but less so for learning or acquiring new skills. For instance, in my time using Adobe Premiere, I never got all that into color grading, so when I tried to do it again, it felt like a huge hurdle to overcome, especially because it was a new piece of software and the industry standard color grading software at that. I tried my hand at it with some of the camera's stock footage that I had shot in the camera's neutral color profile, and I found it quite difficult to get the natural look that I was aiming for, even to match my camera's standard color profile. Given I sort of dove headfirst into it, I did contribute to the problem of feeling frustrated with not being able to figure it out. Again, this is not something that I learned in Premiere that much, but with an industry standard color grading system with so many features and functionalities, it definitely can be a lot. I'll probably need to read their official training manuals, as one commenter suggested. And in that last video, I also said that I would probably continue using Resolve alongside Adobe Premiere Pro, and I was mostly correct. Not because I wanted to continue to compare them or anything, but because I predicted that using both of them would be advantageous to me. In that time, I've started a new job at a company that does some webcasting live streams, and some of the work does require some light editing work that they do use Premiere for, as well as some light motion graphic work that they do using After Effects. Now, perhaps if I had become far more proficient in After Effects first, the Fusion tab in Resolve might not be so intimidating. Yes, it's a different system that uses nodes instead of layers and comps, but I think that my general knowledge of even the 2.5D of After Effects, knowing how to pull off certain effects and generate motion graphics, that would have helped me with learning how to use Fusion. Once again, I'll probably have to read that training manual again, so yeah. So what are my general thoughts on it? I like it. Okay, thanks, bye. Okay, but actually I do enjoy using it for the first reason being the price, which is free proprietary software, and just how powerful it is. I might even end up getting the pro version to get a few of the extra features, and since it's only like a one-time payment of what, $300 with free unlimited updates from what I hear. Another thing I like is how you get to work from media import to edit to graphics to audio to right to the export all in one window, as opposed to having to open a few different applications to achieve all these different tasks. I do wish that they provided some more flexibility with where I can put the different tools, like how in Adobe Premiere, how they allow you to move the assets window or something like that around. I just wish that DaVinci Resolve could open up multiple projects as well at once, just like Premiere. That way I can hop between projects and compare them or even share assets. I do, however, really appreciate that just how much you can do with the color page and the Fusion page. Like, I really need to look into how to use them, but I certainly do appreciate them. Which brings me to what my future with it is. I definitely plan on continuing to use it as I have the past several months. I just really need to find some time to sit down and just go through the training manuals, maybe do another one of those 30-day challenges, like following 30 DaVinci Resolve tutorials in 30 days or something. There's so much that can be done with it, and just so little time. It doesn't help that I also want to get better at After Effects, learn Blender, learn Unreal Engine, and also learn just so many other things. Yeah. But if you're wanting to try this to decide what nonlinear editing software to use, just know that the tools are just that. Tools. It's the creativity behind the tools and execution of the vision that makes a video editor great. If you haven't yet and you'd like to rewatch it, you can check out my video switching to DaVinci Resolve for 30 days. Leave me a comment with your thoughts down below on the software itself. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you over in the next video.